Let's dance. 6 more tickets punched on Tuesday, including Gonzaga. Take home the WCC tournament title. Now 11 bids in total sorted out, 21 outstanding. But by Sunday, we're going to have all tickets punched, 32, and then we'll get to the at-large. All right, let's break it down with our bracketologist, Jerry Palm, and CBS Sports senior college hoops writer, Matt Norlander. Matt, it wasn't without incident, but the Zags cement the one next to their names here. WCC champs following the win over St. Mary's. The real work, though, starts now. Give us your progress report as they turn their focus to the tournament.
I mean, Gonzaga looks as dangerous as just about any team that's going to be in the NCAA tournament. And I have to note that Mark Few has achieved a number 1 seed and quite possibly a number 1 overall seed with Gonzaga. But the 1 seed for the 5th time, it would have been 6 if we had a 2020 NCAA tournament. And this stuff can't be overstated. It's just incredible what he's been able to do year after year after year. And here he's got a team, he's got a roster. I do think last year's team was a smidge better, but you know what? Even though this year's team doesn't have a Jalen Suggs, last year's team didn't have a Chet Holmgren. And what Chet Holmgren can do defensively, how he can change the game on both sides of the floor, I've heard from multiple NBA evaluators, scouts on him, and he continues to tantalize. I actually thought what we saw tonight, guys, with the well-rounded contributions is a very good sign. Julian Strother, he's a bit up and down, but man, when he's playing well, you see Nembhard there, Gonzaga can absolutely roll. It's going to be almost impossible, no matter where Gonzaga or who winds up being in Gonzaga's bracket. They'll obviously be out in the West. It's almost impossible for me not to put them into the Elite Eight at absolute minimum. A good revenge win and ultimately a double-digit win over St. Mary's after getting dropped in Moraga less than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and for Gonzaga, they're going to be the overall number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. There isn't any threat to that now, and they've earned it. I mean, this has been one of the most dominant teams in college basketball all season. Their league has been better. They're deeper with NCAA tournament caliber teams and even NIT caliber teams, which has allowed them to help build their resume. They didn't have to rely as much on non-conference performance this year. And Matt, I mean, I agree with you. They're just as good, I believe, as this year as they were last year, but they're different because of the swap of Suggs for Holmgren. It just changes the way they play defense and the way they play offense.
Yeah, it's been a whole lot of fun to watch them develop as the season's gone on. But as we sort of broaden our focus here at what we got on Tuesday night, the data points roll in, and your bracketology, it develops as well. Jerry, who was your biggest bracketology winner on Tuesday night?
My biggest bracketology winner on Tuesday night was a bunch of guys sitting on their couches, watching TV, doing some homework, maybe taking a test. Jacksonville State, the winner of the Atlantic Sun after Bellarmine won the tournament, but is ineligible to play in the NCAA tournament. Number 1 seed Jacksonville State will now be the NCAA tournament representative from the Atlantic Sun, and they backed into it, but I don't think they're going to care when they finally get there.
That's right.
All right, so I want to give a quick shout out to South Dakota State because it hasn't lost since December 15th, and the Jackrabbits getting there. A huge night for that program. In fact, TJ Altenberger at Iowa State, Scott Nagy at Wright State, and now Eric Henderson at South Dakota State. Those are all coaches who have coached at South Dakota State. They're all going to be coaching in the NCAA tournament. But Gonzaga, I don't want to repeat myself here, but I have to. Gonzaga to me is the biggest winner because of what Jerry said. Jerry's saying, no doubt about it, going to be the number 1 overall seed. You get a win that ensures you're the top line, ensures you will go out west, ensures you'll be able to play in San Francisco. To me, what Gonzaga did both on this night, in addition to the culmination of this season, again, avenging that loss. Anytime you can lay claim to the number 1 overall seed and kind of sit back and relax, not even need to worry about it, to me, that's why it registers as the biggest winner. But I do give a shout out to all the other small conferences that got their auto bids because, this is what they work all season for, and it's a huge night of celebration across the country in the mid-major leagues.
Yeah, Gonzaga, a bona fide 1-1 coming out of this given night. Matt, as you take a look at your losers out of Tuesday night, who takes top billing?
You know what? I'm going to go back to the mid-major scene. In fact, I'm going to go out to Rhode Island here and talk about the NEC because the scene that played out in the Wagner at Bryant NEC championship game was really unfortunate here. So you had, and listen, you had Bryant students. I want to be clear on this. It wasn't just the Bryant students that were a bad look. Obviously, Wagner had its fans, and putting them next to each other it was just a concoction, maybe
mismanaged at best.
Yes, but I will also say this: there were videos that were showed earlier in the day of literally the Bryant students cursing at the Wagner players as they walked off the bus into the arena. This has been happening. There's a difference between being a funny college kid and kind of razzing the opposing team as it walks in and having a good time and a little bit of trash talk. It was derogatory and inappropriate. So we were building to this moment. And then the NEC, I just thought it was a loser. It mishandled this situation. And Jerry, living in Connecticut, I have actually covered 5 NEC championship games over the past 12 years. It's an awesome, amazing environment. I love the fact that the NEC does its conference tournament the way I think every mid-major should. If you're the higher seed, you host the game. What that does is it best enables your conference to send the best team possible via home court advantage off your regular season standings. I would hope that this incident won't cause the NEC to reconsider how it holds its conference tournament, but no doubt about it, Jerry, NEC a huge loser for the scene that played out in a 30-minute delay. It could have been even uglier. In fact, they might have been lucky it was only as bad as it was.
Yeah, I agree. The Northeastern Conference was definitely the biggest loser today. These conferences get one showcase game. I mean, there's going to be other games on TV and stuff, but this is a showcase game for the entire season, and it was ruined by a bunch of knuckleheads in the stands. Now, I'm in no position to lay blame because I barely saw it, and I'm only seeing replays. But how do you then kick the Wagner fans out and leave all of the Bryant fans right behind the Wagner bench and then make Wagner come out and finish the game? I mean, if I'm the Wagner team, I'm not feeling very safe in that environment. Now, thankfully, nothing else happened until they stormed the court before they were supposed to storm the court, and it looked like some security people got bowled over. That was a mess. I mean, the NEC needs to address the fan behavior of this game going forward and make sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again. And I'm with you. They need to play these games on home floors. Yeah,
it was a powder keg of a situation. The lopsided nature of that game perhaps provided the spark, but we do need to move things forward here. ACC, Big East, Pac-12, Patriot League taking center stage on Wednesday. Matt Norlander, what will you be keyed in on?
My biggest game of Wednesday is the only one that has an NCAA tournament bid on the line on CBS Sports Network.
There we go.
You've got Colgate, a representative in last year's NCAA tournament, going against Navy. Oh, by the way, Navy did get a win against Virginia earlier this year, so it's certainly capable. A high-level matchup at this level, if you will. And listen, Matt Langle's done an amazing job at Colgate. I don't know if he will or will not get a bigger job in the coming weeks here once Colgate's season is over. I do think that inevitably he is going to be coaching in a bigger conference there. So I have to go with the one with the bid on the line. Yes, we have more big conference tournaments starting. I can't wait to get to New York City on Thursday for ACC and Big East. But give me CBS Sports Network and give me the Patriot League auto bid on the line Wednesday night. Let's go.
Yeah, that is a really important game, obviously, because of the bid on the line. I'm going to go with the Xavier-Butler game. Xavier has played very poorly down the stretch of this season. They lost 7 of their last 8 games prior to the season-ending win at Georgetown and have played their way all the way down into a double-digit seed. If they were to lose to Butler, there's a chance that Xavier could miss the NCAA tournament. I don't know that it's a great chance. I still would put them better than 50-50 of getting in, but they could be starting the tournament in their backyard in Dayton. I think it's a very important game for Xavier to just keep their mojo going and get back to being what they can be, which is better than they have been over the last month.
That's Jerry Palm and Matt Norlander in full tournament form, and we're just getting started. Thank you, fellas. And don't forget, there's only one place to be for all your college hoops needs. That's on the Eye on College Basketball podcast. Matt Norlander, Gary Parrish break down all things college hoop as we turn towards tourney time. Download, subscribe, and enjoy the Eye on College Basketball podcast.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.